Good morning! I thought today for our Monday video, it would be kind of comical to interview Peter because he is sick right now, and I want to get his take on what it's like to be the sick person.
I think it's ironic that, like, what was it, 4 weeks ago we made a Monday video right here in this spot, and we pretended to have the flu.
We've got Peter all set up with everything he needs. He's got his goldfishy pretzels, he had his tea, he's got his kombucha, water, tissues, thermometer, ibuprofen.
I'm set.
He's all set. And I've been staying far, far away, but I thought just for this little interview, I'm going to sit here and ask Peter some questions. So,
I'm nervous.
Are you?
Well, I just woke up from sweating all over. And... Okay. So, ask away.
So, give us the top 3 things you learned about being sick, being the sick person.
Well, it's not very fun. Fevers feel like doo-doo. And you feel bad. I feel bad, like, being in bed, and...
What do you mean by feel bad?
Well, I feel bad that Mary has to, like, fend for herself, because I am not.
Yes, I feel that. It's, yeah. In my opinion, it feels like guilt. I always feel guilty, like I'm not doing my part in the family or whatever. But just like you always tell me, like, it is totally okay to just be and be sick and let your body fight. And
I think it's just harder when your spouse or someone else in the house is, like, chronically ill.
Yeah.
Like, you feel bad getting sick, and so that's, yeah, that guilt factor.
Yeah.
But Mary's been awesome taking care of me.
Good one. You're allowed to do anything when you're sick. One benefit of being sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so one factor in our family, because I have cystic fibrosis, we have to be extra careful about germs. So, if Peter shows symptoms of germs, we immediately stop kissing, stop sharing any drinks or food, really be cognizant of what you've touched and washing your hands very frequently.
I saw a comment, I think a couple of weeks ago, where somebody said, like, what do you guys do when Peter gets sick? Because, like, obviously we have to avoid germs for Mary. And and I think the commenter said, does he, like, stay in a yurt in the backyard? I thought it was so funny.
So we are installing a yurt tonight.
Yeah. No, we have this guest bedroom that I slept in last night, and I've been in here all day, and Mary opened the window to kind of give a breeze in here, and we had the air filter running.
Yeah, we have like a HEPA air filter, and we had it on turbo blast.
Yeah, but basically we do our best to keep me quarantined, basically.
Right.
And then I know Mary's been cleaning today and, like, washing the sheets. Excuse me. And so, yes, in an ideal world, there wouldn't be a sick person in the house.
Correct.
But we do our best to keep me separate, and thankfully, I haven't been sick. We were just talking about it, I think, like, the last time I, like, was real sick was probably 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. We weren't living here. It was before we lived here.
But I've had, like, smaller colds since then, I think.
Yeah.
But, so we just try to be smart and safe and do what we can, and obviously there's that reality that germs you can't see, and
yep.
But that's what we do.
We also realized that I was already exposed to whatever he has in the days prior, because literally the night before he became symptomatic, hours before he became symptomatic, we were hanging out just like normal. We were in the same bed, obviously, sharing blankets and whatever. We were being together. And then he woke up in the middle of the night and he said he felt like his throat was sore. And then it was just like, there's no way to eliminate being exposed. And that's also why we're careful in public, because just because our friends say that they don't feel any symptoms and they don't have any symptoms, they could already be coming down with something. That's why we're really cautious with like trying not to give hugs very often and that sort of thing.
One of the things that I don't think I've ever had sickness come on so quickly. Like usually it's, I don't know, when I've gotten sick, it's like one day I'll have a little bit of sore throat and it's like, oh, I wonder if I'm getting sick kind of thing. But I felt completely normal on Saturday, and Sunday morning woke up and it was like, I'm sick.
Yeah.
And then like I was at church that morning and
because it just felt like a sore throat.
Yeah, I was and I was being careful about germs and everything, but I was leading the church service and obviously that wasn't great on my throat, but then after church it just like started going downhill quickly. It was weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And then this morning is when you got the fever and body aches and just not feeling good. But I'm really curious. This is the first time Peter has been this kind of sick since I've been on IVIG, and I am so curious if I'm not gonna get sick. And if I don't get this sickness, I'm gonna be like, IVIG is amazing, woo! The reality is, I mean, I'm a very like realistic person, so I feel like I'm probably gonna get some form of this illness because like I said, we've been together and there's no way to perfectly eliminate these germs. I feel like I probably will get some symptoms, but hopefully it won't be full-blown badness and we'll just deal with it. I mean, that's reality. You can't eliminate being exposed. You can't live in a bubble. And so we try to put me in a bubble by doing IVIG, but...
Well, and we went on this trip. I mean, I think the irony of all this is like I am sitting in that spot where we talked about how tips on not getting the flu, and then, you know, one of those big tips was like, don't go on a trip where you ride on an airplane, and so it feels like, oh, we went against our own advice.
Well, we waited till flu season was...
We waited until, you know, flu season was a little farther along, but the reality of it all is we said this in our vlogs while we were traveling, like, we accept the consequences of making this trip because at the end of the day, like, we felt like this was a window where we could get away, and we knew it would take a toll on Mary's body. We didn't, you know, I think when we said we accept the consequences, we weren't thinking of me getting the flu.
Right.
But I accept that. Like, we did fly on an airplane. I think the guy across the aisle was sneezing. Like, there's those realities, and I don't know. I mean,
so we just have to get Peter thoroughly rested and ready for this coming weekend. He has 2 church services to plan. So that's what we're going to do. And as always, we will see you tomorrow. Good night. And don't forget to give Peter a thumbs up for, hopefully it'll cheer him on to feel better soon. And good night, Ollie boy. Night, everybody.